I'm John Batchelor. Malcolm Hoenlein, Conference of Presidents, Major American Jewish Organizations, is here with me. Ariel Sharon, February 26, 1928, January 11th, 2014. We're very pleased to welcome Gilad Sharon here traveling in America. Gilad arrived here in America to celebrate, I'm not sure of the verb, Malcolm. Commemorate his father's passing, dying January 11th. And Gilad, a very good evening to you and welcome, and my condolences. Your father's death after many years of his estate in between. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the show, and I want the audience to learn why it is that you came here and what this ceremony is. But first, I want to fix my understanding. You're a rancher, Gilad. Is that correct? You live on a ranch in the wide open spaces of Israel. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Good evening, John. Good evening, Malcolm. I'm very happy to talk to you.
Your ranch, where is it, and why is it that I associate it with this vast amount of territory coming out of Jerusalem?
Well, our ranch is in the south, in the Negev area. It's pretty close to the town of Sderot, and very close to the border with Gaza. So actually, we not only have our crops and our cattle and sheep, we also receive a lot of rockets.
Rockets. And you ride a horse around your ranch, you and the children?
Yes.
So you're a Malcolm, he's an Israeli cowboy. Right. Do you call yourself a cowboy, Gilad?
I don't call myself name. I just breed the cattle and the sheep, the horses, with no names.
All right. Now, Malcolm, Gilad is here to commemorate the passing of his father, but it's more than a month. It's 5 weeks later. So how does the timing work?
Well, the Hebrew calendar, it is 1 month. There's the intensive period of 1 week, and then the month period called the Shloshim, which means 30 days, and then the mourning period continues for a year. But there was a ceremony yesterday done by Ira Rennert in particular and Inga Rennert, but at the Fifth Avenue Synagogue, where people came together to remember, to mourn his father's passing. These were people who all had personal connections, people like Elie Wiesel. I had the privilege of speaking there. The Consul General and Ambassador to the UN were there of Israel. And they invited Gilad to come, and he shared personal reminiscences about his father, which really touched everybody, and there were many tears, because although he had been sick for so long in the state that he was in, people remember him in ways that are very different than the public image. And I hope Gilad will speak to this, but he was humble, he was courtly, he was somebody who cared deeply, and if he established a relationship with you, and I was privileged to have been embraced by him, there was nothing that could break that bond. He was really very quiet, had a good sense of humor, as somebody very cultured and hardly missed Israel Philharmonic Orchestra concerts. Very different than the, quote, bulldozer image that the media try to portray him. And you heard that in the reminiscence of people yesterday and their descriptions, and of the incredible contribution that he made to the state of Israel. I mean, he is one who will go down in the annals of those who helped recreate the state, one of the bravest fighters the Jewish people ever presented. And with it all, he was somebody who had great humility. And these things came out yesterday in the memorial. Gilad, was that correct?
I agree, but make no mistake, he could move mountains as well. So
that is true.
I think both is right. And by accident, it was his birthday yesterday, so it got another meaning. It was very nice, and I was very touched and moved by the way that so many people attended the event, and it was a big thing for me. I was honored, and I thank Inga and Ira Rennert who organized the whole thing.
Gilad, did your father enjoy the ranch? Did he think of himself as a rancher too? I imagine him with horses and cattle and the corn. Did he sit out there and not be the politician or the world actor, but a rancher?
So let me tell you that almost every evening he arrived back to our farm. He didn't like to stay in the official residence in Jerusalem. He liked the views that he had from his window, the voices of the animals and of the wild animals. We have many wild animals around. He liked the smell of the hay, the smell of the cattle, the sheep, the flowers. In the springtime, the orchards blooming, and the whole farm is like in a cloud of perfume. So he liked that so much. And coming home, sitting in our kitchen, you know, he didn't say the kitchen as you, yet I'm sure you know. And he would sit, and we would all have dinner together with the grandchildren. So he almost never stayed in the official residence. He loved the farm. It gave him the strength that he needed, the connection to the land.
Did that also connect him with President Bush, with whom he had what one only can describe as a very special relationship?
He had a very strong relationship with President Bush. He came to visit the president 13 times. It is a remarkable thing, and that because of not only mutual interest that the United States and Israel got in common, but also we are sharing the same values, and those values are very rare in our area. And that's the reason the relation was so tight.
Would you explain why he started Kadima? Why did he break with Likud? I mean, this was a really tough decision. He made many tough decisions in the battlefields, but on the political field, this was certainly a significant move.
Parties altogether are a tool to that allow you to do what is needed to do. And when he felt that in the Likud, I mean, the reason was the disengagement from Gaza that most of the Israeli public wanted to do. And many people in the Likud didn't like the idea. But he saw the parties not as something that should have its own. They are not existing in order to take care of themselves. They are only tool to improve the country. And that's how we saw it.
And the Gaza disengagement decision, it couldn't have been an easy one for him, someone who was behind the settlers and worked with them to uproot 8,000 people. Can you tell us how he
We only have
viewed
20 seconds. I'm sorry, Gilad. We only have 20 seconds. Go ahead, please.
Well, their behavior is no surprise for us, because we have rockets even before the disengagement, even more than we had after. In 2004, before the disengagement, we had much more rockets than on 2006 after. So the thing that Israelis didn't want to stay there, it either to move 8,000 Israelis or 1.5 million Palestinians. And that's what he decided. It was a courageous decision.
Gilad Sharon, February 28th, 1928 to January 11th, 2014. Ariel Sharon, Malcolm Hoenlein.